My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find the link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 90. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guests today are Greatest Hits. The indie three-piece from the Gold Coast have recently released their new single, Spicy. In today's episode, we're speaking with Ryan, Chelsea and Henry about how the band came to be, touring with Donny Benet, and the difficulty in Googling their band name. Here we go. Our guests today are an indie three-piece from the Gold Coast in Australia. After releasing their debut EP, Volume 1, last year, they've continued to release new music throughout 2021, including the new single, Spicy. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Ryan, Chelsea and Henry from Greatest Hits. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I've just stuffed my mouth with some morning bun.
Perfect.
Right at the perfect time.
I'm sorry, I could have timed that better. That's on me.
Right. You called me off guard.
Congratulations. The single Spicy is out now. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. We've been excited for this one. This song's been a long time coming.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, how long has this song kind of been cooking behind the scenes?
This song has a pretty funny origin story. It was actually started by a 1-year-old in Nashville singing about soda water, referring to it as spicy water and just singing spicy is literally where we got the idea from when we were traveling. And that's how long ago that happened, because
what year was that? That was
2019.
Or maybe it was 2019. So that's when it very first started. And it kind of started as a voice memo on my phone for quite a while. And then, this year we kind of came back to it and we actually started playing it live a little bit and then we recorded it and here we are.
That's very cool. When you kind of have little ideas like that, how often do you go back through the voice memos and kind of re-listen to stuff and be like, oh, that could work, or like, no, that could never work?
That was a terrible idea. That 1-year-old's going to have some royalties now. No, I don't know.
Probably every few months. I mean, between all of us, we just kind of keep a folder of song ideas. They throw in there. I like going back and listening to it, because some stuff you think it's good in a moment, and then you come back to it and not really sure about it, but then maybe in a different context in a few months' time, no, maybe there's something in that. And it's always cool. Henry gets all these ideas going and drops them in there, and
Henry's full of spice all the time.
Yeah, I like just going back to it every now and again, sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the ones that you think are going to be that good, and then you go back and you're like, oh, actually, I must have been having a bit of a bad taste day, because this is actually kind of fun.
Or the other way around, when you think,
it's
so sick, and then the next day you're like, oh.
I can very much understand that. Sometimes it might just need a slightly different framing, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of the mind, usually.
The video itself is I'm sure I'm not going to be the first person you've spoken to who will do this, or the last person, and so I apologize.
I'm so intrigued to hear what you're going to say.
Well, the video itself is quite spicy. Yeah, it happened. The video I really enjoyed. Just, I'm curious, firstly, whose dad is that out of the three of you?
That's actually none of our dads. It's I wish. No, I love my dad, but he's a very cool dad. So that is a friend of ours.
So a guy called Ben Robinson, he films all of our videos, and it's actually his dad.
Who is stuck here because of COVID. So his dad usually lives in Uganda. They're from England originally, and they live in Uganda, and they came over for Ben's wedding in March last year.
And they're still in Australia. Oh, yeah. And anyway, while they've been here, one of the things they got into, so the guy's name's Craig Robinson, Mr. Robinson. So Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, Craig and Janine, one of the things they really got into while they've been stuck here is doing like TikTok dances. So that was kind of, for us, that was the thing that kind of tipped us off of like, oh, he might actually be really good at this. Because he kind of wanted that character that's, like...
We wanted it to be good, but not good at the same time.
Not professional.
He nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted someone with like a bit of style and could move well, but like if it had been a professional dancer, it wouldn't have felt right.
No. It would have been a very different video, I imagine, with a professional dancer in there. You want someone who's got the passion, but maybe not the expertise behind it fully.
That's exactly it. That's
the passion.
That's our life. But what you didn't see is like, so his wife is like in the back. I'm sure we'll post some BTS at some stage in the background, like egging him on, like, yeah, do the pistols, like do the wind up. She's like yelling at him. But she got the performance we needed. So
that's possibly like the next video for another single is like the perspective of the stage mother or the stage wife, if you will.
Yeah, stage wife.
With the new single, obviously we've had Spicy, we've had Banana Moon this year. Could we, I guess, are we looking at a more long player or another EP at some point this year or in the future?
Yeah,
that we can talk about.
There's another collection, but it's coming.
Yeah, no, I will not push any further on that. I'll leave that. I wanted to kind of go back to the origins of the band, if that's all right, because firstly, you've definitely made it an interesting job for journalists or for the media, because Greatest Hits has to be one of the most difficult band names to research.
Yeah, we stuffed it.
I was going to ask whether that was intentional. It might have been like a tactic.
No, not really. Like, to be honest, like not much of this band to start off with was very intentional. Obviously we hadn't really thought the name through. It
literally started as a joke because we'd all been like playing in different music, like different things, and we're all just a bit sick of like the dumbness that comes along with the music industry sometimes, and just wanted to do some stuff that was like only fun, that we loved, and it was just a joke. And then
at the start there was no intention to ever release any music or anything. It was like 2 a.m. just writing a song, and then the next day that turned into another demo, and then me and a mate that I was kind of messing around with these songs with, we just kind of joked, we should just come out and just put out like a greatest hits album, and like, let's just call this band Greatest Hits. And then it like really that was kind of going to be the end of it. And then someone, I can't remember who it was exactly, but I think maybe like a promoter friend in Leeds, because we were all living in England at the time, and I think he just kind of somehow heard one of these demos and it's like guys, you got to play a song. And at this point, like there wasn't a band or anything.
Did you mean?
What did I say?
Song.
A song. I meant to say play a show. You guys should play a show. And we didn't have a band or anything. But we're like, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Like these songs seem pretty fun. So we kind of threw a band together, and
we literally, like, me and Henry met the day before the gig. We tried to
we had like one rehearsal. I saw Chelsea the rehearsal before that, but she couldn't come into rehearsal.
They wouldn't let
for
me.
some reason. And then Ryan was like, oh, that's Chelsea over there. And I was like, I don't even think she saw me. It's just like a bit of a wave. And then I didn't meet her for another week until the gig. So it was definitely not the slickest operation before prior to maybe coming here. I don't know.
Yeah, but like one thing led to another. So that first show, we had a lot of fun, and then we played a few more shows, and then I guess at some point we're like, maybe we should record these songs. So we recorded the first single, Mortals, and just kind of just put it out ourselves. Didn't really think much of it, and that was just before me and Chelsea moved back to Australia. And we kind of landed back in Australia to the news that it got a play on Radio 1 in England.
And we're like, we stuffed it. Should have stayed there.
And then that was kind of like, maybe we should take this a little more seriously. So now we're full professional.
Did you play any more shows in the UK, or was the timing roughly around when borders closed? Or?
We were playing for about a year. This was like.
Yeah,
I think we were. Well, you guys got here a bit before I did, but I was here for maybe 6 months before the borders shut and stuff. So we played a fair few we wouldn't rehearse.
Well, we
were just playing shows pretty much for a few months.
What'd you say?
We were like, I just remember we weren't rehearsing, and we'd play like for a couple of months. We just play a lot of shows.
Yeah,
and not really see anyone outside of it, and then we all kind of went our own way for a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably, I guess, like 6 months or something where we didn't really do much because everyone was in all different parts of the world. And then Henry decided to move to Australia. And this is kind of just before all the COVID stuff kicked off. So us three ended up here. And then we met a couple other guys who play in the live band as well. And funny enough, those guys as well had just moved back to Australia too. Like Jack, who normally plays drums for us, he'd been living in Nashville for years. He'd just moved back, and Tim had been living. He was all over LA and then in France, and none of us knew each other before we were in Australia, and we just it was a crazy situation.
It was very serendipitous.
Yeah.
And the funny thing with Jack, our drummer, is we lived in Nashville for a little while on our way back to Australia. We were kind of thinking of moving there, but decided not to in the end. And when we were there, some friends of ours were like, "Oh, you just missed our friend Jack. He's gone back to Australia now." And so we had mutual friends randomly, and then randomly met in Australia again after that. So it was very mental.
And Jack isn't local either. He's in Coffs Harbour. So, we were on the Gold Coast at the time, and my brother ran into him at an engagement party in Coffs Harbour.
Then Jack was crashing. He wasn't invited to the party, but he went.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy we all ended up together. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal your word, Chelsea, but I think it is it sounds like it was quite serendipitous almost.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a nice word, isn't
it? You guys were able to play some shows last year, though, I believe. You were supporting Donny Benet.
Yeah. That was actually this year.
This year.
No, it's fine. We got really lucky. I think in the first few months of the year, we played so many shows, and then none for ages. But we got really lucky at the start of the year. We did a couple of amazing
first 5 or 6 months of this year. We've been super, super lucky with that.
Yeah.
Just the windows kind of opened at the right time.
Very grateful.
How did those shows play out? I apologise. My concept of time is out the window a little bit this year.
Everyone says, don't worry, everything's just a big blur.
How did those shows go, and was it nice to kind of, after being able to, decide we're going to do the band properly and write a record or an EP, be able to play these songs?
They were great. It was so fun, and we got to play. We played with every combination of the band possible as well, because when borders were changing, because we all lived kind of all over the place, some people couldn't make it, so we got to travel down to Melbourne, Sydney, we did Canberra, but also sometimes just the three of us and a drum machine sometimes no drummer, and like there were 6 of us with like 2 backing vocalists, extra percussion players. So it was like a pretty fun time just to get out and like
did like
explore.
the 5-piece band, and then we did one with just like everyone, which is great.
The Donny Benet one was like special though, because I think that was our first proper support tour, and to land the Don was like such a dream. Our booking agent Jimmy, he's such a legend. He rang us and he was like, I'm going to pitch you for Donny Benet, but he wants a 2-piece electronic act. He's like, can you do that? And we're like, no, but we could do 3. We just said we could do 3-piece, thinking there's no way in hell we'll get the Donny Benet tour. That's huge, because we like froth him, all of us. And then I remember he rang us. We got the message through that we'd gotten it, and I was just like, yes, like punching the roof of the car, like so excited. And then it was just like, shit, now we have to do a 3-piece electronic version on the set. So we just like madly, was it a week or 2 weeks?
I think in like a week.
In a week, we just got completely different.
I mean, and none of us have really done like electronic anything before. So I was like learning how to use a drum machine, but it was cool. It was good fun.
I'm glad for it. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And who doesn't want to watch Donny Benet 10 nights in a row?
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that it's, as musicians, you want to give like a unique experience every time. You don't want to just appear to be going through the motions. And I imagine that on that tour, people can walk away saying that they have seen a unique individual greatest hits show, because, not one was like the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Jewelry can say many things on your wedding day. As a wedding band, it can say, this is a forever symbol of our forever love. As a gift to your wedding party, it can say, thanks for standing up there with us. Blue Nile can help you find the piece that says it all and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com.
With borders starting to, slowly be, there's exit plans at the moment for everyone, and hopefully some gigs coming back. Can we possibly plan to see Greatest Hits on tour come the summer?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got we have a really exciting support tour coming up that we're not allowed to announce just yet. So that will be
in the coming weeks, and that's going to be great.
But we're hoping to get our own shows. Obviously, everything's had to be reshuffled. We're playing in Brisbane in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
And on the Gold Coast on Saturday. So we finally have some shows coming up again, which I am so excited for, because I'm like a drug addict for live shows.
It has been very disappointing in terms of like just, not being able to see gigs. So I'm glad that hopefully we'll be able to see some this summer. And I'm very looking forward to whatever the news is, whoever the support act is.
We're the support act.
No. Yes, sorry. Whoever the tour is with.
Sorry.
Whoever the tour is with.
Crazy. I've not had coffee for 6 weeks, and this is my first cup. So I'm feeling I'm feeling crazy.
I feel honoured that you've joined us with the coffee, because it is again, it's another unique experience.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. I'll try something else next time.
Greatest Hits as a band. Would you be happy to talk about the playlist that you sent through?
Yeah, definitely.
Love to.
Yeah.
Let's do song by song. I think it'd be nice.
Yeah, song
give
by
each
song,
song
it's
own little time.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like it's a good snapshot of kind of all of our tastes. So it's not something, we haven't done the set list, like we haven't all sat down together and all agreed on every song.
Where are we? I'll just pull up. I have some of the questions. Give me 1 second.
It's okay. It's a good
playlist. I love doing these playlists. Sometimes Henry puts some gems in there that I've never even heard. There's a good chance for me to hear new music.
Henry is a wealth of gems.
It's good. Yeah. Well, the feeling's mutual. There's always some truth.
It's basically Henry's playlist.
I did notice, because you can see like the username on who's added what song, and there is one that is more prevalent than others.
Yeah.
So that might be Henry.
That'll be Henry.
That's actually not, I don't think that was me. I thought we had a strict 10-song limit, and I was on my lunch break at work yesterday, like, oh, this is sick. I only need to do 4 songs now, because I was like stressing over it.
Oh, sorry. Did I might have got a bit greedy. Did I take 6?
That's okay, but I wanted to put a Benny Sing song in anyway, and
there we go.
Nobody's Fault in, so I was like, this is great. One
round. Right. Benny Sing. That's where we agree.
Yeah.
There's an equal 10. You guys have done well. The first one is Alice Clark. Don't You Care?
Cool. Alice Clark, yeah. Henry, you can jump in as well. I mean, we all like Alice Clark. Yeah. I mean, that whole album is so great. I actually don't know that much about Alice Clark, so I went digging. It turns out, like, not many people do know much about her. She's like a bit of an unknown. She's like this New York soul singer. I think she only did like two lots of recording, and then it was a bit of a flop and just kind of disappeared. But anyway, her albums kind of had a bit of a resurgence. But yeah, if you haven't heard it, check it out. Like her vocal is just incredible and just full of so much feeling.
Her lyrics are amazing. They're so sad. They're like sad. A lot of them are just sad, like love songs, but they're kind of beautiful and like just big arrangements. Great.
And like the groove is still like really fun. I think you'll find that like the common thread through all this stuff, and it's kind of like, I guess the method we apply to our writing as well is that it's always got to have like this kind of fun groove underlying it, no matter what we're singing about.
I can appreciate a good, like, what do you call that? Like a happy, sad kind of.
The juxtaposition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's something that's, you can still cry while you're dancing. It's that kind of balance between the two. Exactly.
I don't want to listen to something really sad if I'm feeling sad, because it makes me feel even more sad. So I want to be something that could appreciate that I'm sad and be like a nice little pat on the shoulder and be like, okay.
Exactly.
I'll touch you.
Yeah.
The next song was Talking Heads with The Great Curve.
This is my like go-to Talking Heads song at the moment. It's my like go through phases, but this album and this song especially is just the same. All the bass and drums and everything's the same all the way through, but the vocals on it are just like incredible. Just heaps of voices doing this crazy like call and response stuff, and it's just like a bit of a weird kind of party tune.
It is a very, very good song. I do love Talking Heads.
It's good. We're all big fans. Just like, so much to learn from that band, and the rhythm section and the performances. Like, it's just like huge inspiration for us.
Yeah, 100% agreed. The rhythms, the rhythm section. I've lost for words. Can't even speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really glad Henry put that on there, because I think it would have ended up on there anyway, or at least 8.
So good.
Do you guys find that between the three of you that there is like a lot of in the Venn diagram of your musical tastes that there's a lot of crossover?
There's some crossover for sure. There is.
There is.
There's a lot.
Yeah, we definitely all have our own kind of leanings. But I don't know. I think that's the cool thing about like we've been doing a lot more writing, like bringing all of our songwriting together. recently, and that's the cool thing. Like, I think otherwise I would just go like too like one dimensional in a particular direction of kind of my taste. But yeah, I love that it's like three of us working on these songs.
Yeah, of course. The next track was Half Noise with Two of Us. Now, I think, Ryan, you were in Half Noise, or you toured with Half Noise? Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's fair to say that without Half Noise, there's probably no greatest hits. So when we were living in the UK, I toured with Half Noise, and it was just so much fun and such an eye opener and inspiring time for me. I've always been a guitar player, and actually I played bass for Half Noise, and it just like opened me to this whole world of what bass could be. I'd never had so much fun playing bass. I mean, I never really played bass, but the idea of that bass could be like super interesting and melodic, and that became the starting point for greatest hits. I'd always wrote songs on guitar, and for the first time I was sitting down and writing songs off bass. So yeah.
And it was kind of off the back of that tour that was the 2 a.m. writing.
Yeah, it was right at the end of that UK tour. So yeah, I mean, definitely got to thank Half Noise for kind of giving us that experience. That's great. And I mean, like, I think like Zach as a writer and producer,
he's outrageous.
He's just amazing. So I mean, I've even before I was playing with Half Noise, I've just kind of followed everything he's done just because he's incredible.
Yeah, of course. That is Zach from Paramore that we're talking about as well.
Yeah,
it's very different.
If the listeners haven't heard Half Noise, like you got to check him out. There's like all of their stuff's just great.
Yeah,
really tasteful.
It was very. It was not what I was expecting, but in a good way. I was very pleasantly surprised when I had
it's so different to Paramore.
So different. So different.
It's still everything's still kind of like underpinned by those like really like hooky drums, but it's just not in like a rock style. It's just kind of moved on to other thing.
You can definitely hear more of Zach's flavor in the last Paramore record for sure.
It almost made sense listening to that and then working through the discography. It was kind of like, I can see where it might connect, or there's through lines.
Yeah.
The next track, Henry, I think was one of yours. It was, as Chelsea referred to him before, the Don with Girl of My Dreams.
Yeah. I think this was all of our favorites. When we were with him, this was our favorite song. And literally, I think every single, we saw him do 10 shows or whatever. Every time I could not get on the dance floor for this tune. It's just so good. It's just
that was the special one as well, because on the very first night of tour, a girl got on stage and proposed to her fiance. And then they did that song. And then every night of the tour, Donny told the proposal story, but every night it got
just more and more
wilder
ridiculous.
And wilder. I think by the end it was a 2-minute story of people getting naked in fireplaces, and it just got out of control. But it was so funny. But they're actually, the people that got engaged are actually so such nice guys, and they came to some of our shows afterwards. In next time we were down in Melbourne and stuff. But yeah, so that's always got a special place for us. That song.
It's definitely one way to start off a tour. You're kind of really setting the bar quite high if you're allowing for proposals at that stage. Yeah. The next song, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. I think we only have time for 2 more songs.
Oh no!
Let's do
too much crap.
Do you want to pick one each, Henry?
Yeah, let's do it. You can. I'll pick. Yeah, I know which one I'm going to pick.
I have a feeling I know which one you're going to pick, Henry.
You know which one Henry's going to pick?
Can I guess that it's Prince Charming?
Yeah. That's the one I was going to pick.
That's going to be my guess too. That's definitely the most Henry song on the playlist.
I love it.
I love that song. something really good, something like British.
Yeah. Good on you.
But like 80s, like new wave stuff. That's like where my heart is that like kind of post-punk British stuff. And it's so cool. The drums are amazing. Like the Talking Heads one, the vocals are so cool. All the like kind of yips and like shouts and stuff. I'm like all about that.
Yeah, this is with the Venn diagram. This is where me and Henry don't quite match up, but I'm slowly creeping over. He's slowly winning me.
Probably with the song after that as well. That's just a straight up funk song. They're probably two that are super far apart.
It is a very, very good song. Ryan, okay. Can I guess? Is it George Harrison?
Yeah.
Well congrats. We've only spoken a little while. You can already read us.
If only this was a game show or something, then we'd be doing all right. But
all right. That's amazing. Can I ask why did you think that song?
Honestly, like no bullshit. I don't know. I looked at the list, the tracks that were left, and for some reason that one just jumped out more.
Ryan's usually pretty hard to read, so that's congrats.
Yeah, I mean, probably this one definitely on like a bit more of like a serious note. I mean, I love that album. It's just, like, I mean, who doesn't? It's so All Things Must Pass is just incredible. But this song's just like really been like sticking out to me recently. I think like the definitely like the message of it. I'm not usually like that much of like a lyrics guy. I'm definitely more kind of the music and production, and that stuff is kind of what I get into, like at least as a jumping off point. Yeah, like the message of this song, I think just like in like our current context of like we're in this moment of like the whole world is pretty much in a very similar boat at the moment. Like there's never, especially in our lifetimes, never been such like a unifying event. And I think the thing that I've kind of connected with this song is that even though we are also like in a similar situation at the moment, there's like so much division as well, like probably more than ever. And like, you know, the song's message is just it's such a pity. Like I feel like in some ways it's just I think we've just missed like a bit of an opportunity to like all come together. And there's been pockets of that, but it's kind of sad to look around and see how what should have probably brought everyone together is kind of being used to pull people apart more.
Yeah, I might not have gotten there, or not gotten there myself, but might not have kind of related it to that. But yeah, it is kind of a good song to, I guess, embody that, it is a beautiful track, and that album is fantastic as well. Anything by George Harrison is chef's kiss. So
yeah.
Speaking of chef's kiss, again, congratulations on Spicy.
Oh.
Just tying it all back into the kitchen. Congratulations again on Spicy. We do look forward to, I know that your publicist is going to hate me because we spoke about future music that we can't talk about and the future tour we can't talk about. But when they're out, please come back. You're more than welcome to come back on the podcast and have a chat. But thank you again.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Simon.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Greatest Hits for their time. Spicy is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to stream their music or watch the video. We also want to give a huge shout out to Katie at Positive Feedback for helping out with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of Greatest Hits picks. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday and Friday morning, with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.